So the Denver Nuggets have officially been eliminated from the NBA playoffs. Eliminated in the second year in a row by the Minnesota Timberwolves. So let's look at the Nuggets' active roster, right? Let's look at who they have this year, right? The Nuggets are going to be title contenders as long as Jokic is on the roster. This is a team in win-now mode, and that's not going to change, right? Jokic is 31, Murray is 29, Aaron Gordon 30, Cameron Johnson 30, Valanciunas 33, Zeke Nnaji 25, Christian Braun 25, and they have 3 team options with Darren Holmes, who's 23, Julian Strawther, who's 24, and Jalen Pickett, who's 26. So they have some roster flexibility, right? This is a weak free agent class, so it's not like they're going to, cut these guys on the team options and try to go for a big swing, something like that. They're going to really keep what's working. This was Murray's first ever All-Star time, or All-Star team. He's been good, obviously, besides that his whole career, and he's a playoff elevator. But this is the first time he's actually been an All-Star, and Jokic, not confirmed whether or not he's getting MVP yet. But, top 3 MVP candidate, one of the best players in the league. There's no need to gloss over what Jokic is, right? Obviously, he's a player that you really look at in every facet of this team, and as long as he's on the team, he's one of those guys, right? You have an SGA, you have a Jokic, you have a Giannis, you have a Wembanyama. You're going to be trying to win now always, and that's, one of those teams that can't. That's the Milwaukee Bucks, and that's why the honest trade rumors are a thing, because if you have a player of that caliber, you have to be trying to win at all times. So the Nuggets are one of those teams. The Wolves are a tough draw for this team, right? I mean, Rudy Gobert on Jokic is one of the best matchups if you want to stop Jokic, right? You put the best defender of the past 15 years on Nikola Jokic. Guess what? That's going to be the best chance you have against him. That's a really bad draw for them. For them, if they can avoid the Minnesota Timberwolves, I think that's their best chance. I think they're better. They suit better against the Thunder. They suit better against any of the teams in the East, like the Knicks, possibly the Pistons haven't been, the Knicks or the Celtics or a healthy Indiana next year. They really do way better against those teams, but they don't against the team that has the best defensive center, right? So that's a big deal. A bad draw for them 2 years in a row, but they have a little bit of flexibility with those younger players, right? We mentioned Darren Holmes, Julian Strawther, and Jalen Pickett. With it, they all are on team options, and they can bring them back, and those contracts are really not too bad. They have their own draft pick in a loaded class. It's going to be, I believe, 26. And they're probably going to try to get an instant impact guy. They're pretty good at every position, but the biggest thing that they lack is athleticism and speed. So, right, a guy who could take advantage of the fact that Jokic is such a good passer and has so much offensive gravity. They want a guy who could take advantage of that with their athleticism, a possible guy who could just really run the floor like both ways, right? It's a pretty decently slow team right now. So if they're able to really replace that in the offseason, I think it's the biggest thing you look at for them. I think coaching-wise, I think they're going to stay the same. I think they're going to pretty much keep a lot of what's going on. I'd look through athleticism through the draft, and if not, you possibly try to do a trade package. I can't really see, them spending up Murray and Jokic. Possibly Cam Johnson can be a guy who goes if, things don't break right for them. And to be honest, I think this team pretty much stays put. Some moves around the edges, but the draft picking a guy with speed and athleticism is going to be a big thing. I would expect them to honestly even take an older college player, right, being such a win-now mode. They're not going to take a project player, try to take a more proven guy. And with NIL players staying in college longer, like the average age of the draft is just pretty much going to get older as we go on. Like Cooper Flagg being the number 1 pick is a true, reclassed up true freshman. Obviously, that's stuff like that is very rare. It's going to be a lot older guys in the top of the draft compared to what it was in the past. But yeah, pretty much that's the direction I believe the Denver Nuggets will go. It's a pretty simple offseason for them in my eyes. Like, you just have Jokic and you just try to build around him with whatever you can, right? You don't have that much flexibility, but I think because of what they need, being speed and athleticism, and this draft class being so good, you can do it at pick 26, right? Because you're looking for a very specific thing, and young guys are usually the guys who have those two things. So, very good for the Nuggets. But yeah, that's my thoughts on their offseason plans.